Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Welcome back. Today is a very, very exciting day. Um, it's the 90th episode. I've done 90 of these things. Can you believe it? It's incredible. It just kind of sneaks up on you. You know, you do one and then you do another. And next thing you know, you've done 90 or you're doing 90. It's incredible. And I owe it all to you for coming back and giving me an opportunity to do this with you. Is that incredible or what? I'm going to talk about fame today. Well, good morning. Morning, sunshine. Morning, sunshine. Morning, Charles. How are you? Um, eh, there's so many things I need to talk to you about today, and I almost don't know where to start. However, I think I can start there because, the big difference between thee and me is the size of the pond. That's it. The size of the pond and the size of the stone that got thrown in the pond and gets thrown in the pond repeatedly. Um, just a graveyard shift last night. Oh, you must be exhausted. Well, I won't keep you long. So I want to talk about fame, but the first thing I want to talk about, actually, you know what? It's not but, it's and the first thing I want to talk about. The first, yes, I'm sure. Eyes glazed. Don't have coffee. Have decaf. Um, every single thing we do becomes something that we're famous for if we keep doing it. If we're always late, then we're famously always late. If we walk down the street and people call our name, uh, and we hope it's not because we owe them money or ran into their car, it's because we have established some kind of recognition factor in our circle, and that's fame. That's fame. The person who gets Employee of the Month at the coffee shop, they're famous. They're famous for not just 30 days, but they can always say, way back in 1492, I was Employee of the Month on Christopher Columbus's ship. And so they can carry that with them forever. The thing is, the mistake that people make is kind of a double-edged sword. We often, because it's easy and it's the lazy way, we often allow ourselves to be typecast as that one thing. And the trouble with that is that eventually it becomes impossible for anyone to think of us as anything else. And that happened to me by accident when I joined the cast of You Can't Do That on Television, a little known at the time children's television series that was made in Ottawa, Canada. And by one of those flukes of decision making, it was licensed all over the world. The the cable entity that purchased the license to broadcast, and basically the right to rent us out, um, then sublicensed it to the U.S. Armed Forces Network, and they have a deal in every country where there is a military establishment that they can have a channel on the local television network system dedicated to the armed forces. So it's broadcast in usually English, sometimes with a second language, depending on which areas of the countries that they're in, or the service personnel who serve. And it's usually for the U.S. It's usually American programming. So all of a sudden, You Can't Do That on Television, which was born and bred on a back street in a small town in Canada, became a big deal. And because that was all they saw of us, that was all we were. So Christine is always Christine, Alistair is always Alistair, Doug is always Doug, and so on. Um, they were them. As they grew up, if any of them, a few of the kids went on to be in show business, as I'm sure you know, um, they are sometimes remembered for that first role. They're talked about. What was it like to be slimed when they're actually on location on a press junket promoting their latest film or their latest concert or record album? Um, was it no, Charles? Was You Get That dubbed in French in Quebec? It didn't air in Quebec, Charles. There's one province in Canada never really saw the show because it wasn't until it was picked up in Canada by YTV, sort of the youth TV, like MTV only for kids, and we were their first series. We were one of their first series, and that was broadcast across Canada. But no, you had to really work hard to see the show at all because it was really considered just a local nothing show in Canada. Do you believe it? So if you are only known for one thing, then it's very difficult for someone to picture you as anything else. So decision makers are going to say, well, we love your work, but I don't think you're going to sell. You're not going to be good box office because people won't be able to see past, the yellow rubber gloves or the apron or the liver and lima beans. So too bad, so sad. Unless you have been strategic. And I wasn't then. I'm much more strategic now. And what you always want to do when you are establishing reputation for whatever it is you do, because that's all that fame is good morning, Freddie. It's so nice to see you. I hope everything went well on Tuesday with your mom. When you're establishing a name for yourself, a recognition factor, because that's really all that fame is: recognition, renown, and reward. You want people to feel that it's not all about you. You want to find ways to let people know, to let your fans know, to let potential producers or directors or casting agents or whomever know that you're interested in how they feel when they watch you. Not how did you like my last film? Not how did you like the way I tripped through the doorway? But how does it make you feel when you watch us, when you watch our show? How do you feel when you were watching Les Lie as any of his many characters? And then encourage people to tell you. So whatever job it is that you have, whatever thing it is that you do, oh, good, I'm so glad, Freddie. Freddie was unable to join us on Tuesday because he had work to do with his mom, and it was going to conflict. And of course, the real mom comes first, always. How you make people feel is what they own, is what they take away, is what they look forward to. So whether it's a Stephen King, whose full intention is to scare the living daylights out of you, or it's somebody hysterically funny who you want to watch because they make you laugh. I love watching the Minions. They make me laugh very hard. I don't know. It says something about my character. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I love the cheerful way that they're, they're so awful. It's the cheerfulness. How people feel is not something they get asked often. People go through life really not entirely sure that they are heard, that they matter, that their reactions to things have any relevance. Customer service, customer support, the waiter says, "How was everything today?" They kind of say it by rote. They don't look you in the eye and say it with meaning. They just say it. And so they're not really listening. And how is everything? Oh, fine. See, there's no connection there. But if they stop and they talk to you and they say, so how was everything? What can I do better next time? They're listening. They want to know. And that is the first thing we love about them. Their service is quick, they're attentive, they have eyes in the back of their head, they always can tell when you need something, and they're right there. Sure. What really hits us hard is how much they mean to you. That is priceless. It's a relationship. It's a connection. And for the purpose of this video, it is also your key that you can use to open the doorway to your shifts, your changes, your resets, the new things you want to do. Because if they understand that you truly care about them and they feel amazing because of that, they will follow you anywhere. Why? Because you've made a friend. And friends are hard to come by. That is so big. It's so easy to do. Because the only thing you have to do is stop thinking about yourself for a second. And stop thinking about, okay, I'm going to play the next song. If you ask a question, how's everybody doing? You have to wait and let them tell you. You don't just say, how's everyone doing? And then carry on. You have to let them tell you. I can't hear you. Really? Is that right? When somebody is going to take their time and join this video, and I say, good morning, everybody. Hi, how are you? And you reply, I would be only showing up a little bit if I didn't say, just a second, I just want to check and see what people are saying and doing. We are creating a conversation here. We are flipping the switch on how videos work. Technically, this is a monologue, except when you comment, because then it allows me to answer you. And everyone else watching this can see the comments, and you can talk amongst yourselves. I know that when Billy joins us, he always has things to say. He's always interested in what other people are doing. And so there's a whole thing going on. And that's why the videos are so cool, because it becomes a reason to get involved that's bigger than, I used to watch you on that thing you did. The last live event I did, there were people there who were fans of the Care Bears, and there were people who were fans of You Can't Do That on Television. There were people who were fans of superheroes and kids stuff and electronics and games and cosplaying. When they came to my booth had a little bit of all of that. I got them to cosplay with me because I made them wear feather boas with me. They dressed up as a famous diva with me. And then we got our pictures taken, darling. So I skipped across the tops of several little waves on that ocean while they were there. The real value, the real reason they had such a good time, the real reason they kept coming back and saying, that was really cool, I brought somebody, is because we made a real connection. Because I asked them how they are. And I said, I need your autograph. And everybody was really surprised. You need my autograph? I'm here for your autograph. Well, we'll get to me later. I need you to sign. Which is your favorite? Were you a Care Bears, or you can't do that? And we would go to that banner and then the other banner, and all the while getting pictures taken and feather boas, and all the while we were talking about how cool it was to be back. Us, all of us, me, them, everybody. How great it was, and how have you been? Everything okay? What else is going on? As though we saw each other regularly and just hadn't been in touch. Why am I doing that? What is that for? Well, it's because I'm building the relationships that began because you watched something I did. I'm building a relationship that's bigger than that because I want you interested in all the other things that are going on, that I'm planning, that we're doing. The interviews for Pivotry in Motion, talking about Pivotry in Motion. Oh my God. Talking about the ways you've looked at your lives and said, yeah, see, no. Here's the thing. When you have that aha moment, when you say, well, I know why I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. I don't want to do the thing I'm doing. I'm kind of done. I've done it every which way there is, and it doesn't sizzle anymore. And I've tried to breathe life back into it, but basically, I've played there and closed. Okay, what does that mean? It means you're ready for something new. But if the only thing you're known for is same old, how do you carry the people with you? How do you get them excited in the new thing you want to do, the new thing that's making you really feel great about getting up each day? How do you infect them with that excitement? Sincerely. How do you make that something they want to see happen too? Well, it can't be all about you. It has to be all about us. There has to be a genuine connection that makes them care because of the way you make them feel. If every morning you walk in someplace and you say, hi, John, and they say, hey, how's it going? And you say, oh, you know what? We got a new puppy, and I wanted to ask your opinion because you have a dog, right? Wow. There you go. There's a whole other direction you just took. That I buy my coffee there every morning. That's a whole new place you just went. What does that give you the power to do? It gives you the power to start different conversations with John every time you see him. So it's no longer just about, you like double coffee. Yeah. Okay, what else do you talk about after that? Nothing. Okay, but you opened a door. Now he can say to you, got your coffee, how's the puppy? And when his sister comes in or his daughter comes in and he says, yeah, this is the lady I was telling you about. This is the guy I was telling you about. They just got a new puppy. And now you're talking to somebody else. You're no longer the person who gets coffee a certain way. You're still that. That's what you were famous for. But now they have given you the permission you need to become something more than the double coffee. You're the double coffee. They now remember your name. And you sleep well, Charles. Poor Charles up all night trying to watch the video, and he's just go to bed. You see how thoughtful that is? He didn't just sign off and disappear. He talked to me and said, there is a reason I'm leaving, and it's not you. It's me. And here's why. And so I understand, because we've all been there. We've all done that. So sleep well, Charles. Catch you later. What we want to do is leverage. Leverage is a wonderful thing. We want to leverage the power of the message we've created, the influence we've established, the name we're known by, the fame that other people have awarded us. We want to leverage that with friendship. We want to leverage that by listening, by getting to know them, by understanding not only why they like us, how it makes them feel. Because how they feel is the prize. You say, I'm doing something, since I know you like this, doing something else you might like, so you can check it out. And they say, oh, cool. They don't dutifully say, oh, okay, I'll do it. No, you've touched the thing that they like for their reasons. And you said, I have something else. And so then you leave it to them. You've invited them. They are going to do the math. I love her for this reason. I also love that. Imagine I can get her and that in one package. I can't wait to check it out. Because it's all predicated on how we feel. I'm going to use an example that is very cool. I got disconnected for a while, but I'm back. Yay! Technology is so weird, isn't it, Freddie? Gone off. I don't know if anybody else is getting this, but when I'm on Facebook, periodically, the computer suddenly says, your internet connection was restored. When did it go off? What are you talking about? And so I just I want to pat it on the head and say, well, thank you, dear. Carry on. So here's the story I want to tell. I was watching a video yesterday. I like to watch this car fabricator guy. He's from Nova Scotia. His name is Chad Hills, and his YouTube channel is The Bad Chad Show. And his nickname, Bad Chad, has been something he has carried for a long time. I think he was a boxer or a wrestler. And so, and he was a bit of a bad boy in his earlier years. And what he does now is he does really, really cool at home in the garage car fabrications. And they're really out there. They're really fun and really funky and really crazy. And he's self-taught, and he does it because he loves it. And he does it with an artist's commitment to the outcome that he has visualized in his mind. And sometimes he takes shortcuts and he explains why he's doing that. And he sometimes says, I'm doing this for fun, so I'm leaving the rough stuff. And he has a huge following, huge following. He and his team were on Discovery Channel for 1 or 2 seasons, so they got a really good following then. And then, of course, he has his YouTube, so people just kept following. Usually, there's like 4,000, 5,000 people watching any episode. It's really low key, down home, and he talks through every single thing he's doing. So if you're into fabricating vehicles of any kind, repurposing things, I just love him. I know nothing about cars. I would be very cautious about putting on a welding helmet and tackling that. But I'm really fascinated by the way he communicates his passion and his technique. So he was talking, now because he has so many followers, he also gets a lot of trolls and a lot of haters and a lot of people who want to use him and his platform to, beat their own drum about how they wouldn't do it that way, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And, that's upsetting. It's upsetting. He doesn't ask people to like him. Well, he does. Please like and ring the bell and subscribe and all that. He doesn't ask people to like who he is and like what he does. He asks them to like the video. It's up to them whether they approve or disapprove. And it's hurtful when people are unnecessarily rude, caustic, cruel. There's no need for it. And there have been times when his partner, Jolene McIntyre, who is just lovely and wonderful, they call her, she calls herself, he calls her Queen Jolene, and she's just gorgeous. Those two work hard. They do a video every day. They have done over 500 videos. They stopped after 500 to take a break for a month because every single day, and the videos are like an hour long. So it's not just doing the video, it's editing it and all that stuff. And it takes time to do. They did it for 500 and then they said, we're going to take a break. We got stuff to do. We've been invited to go to some car shows and whatnot. We'll be back. So, but she kept posting things on Facebook, little clips of things, and stayed in touch. And now they're back again and they are still doing videos every day. It's a little more loosely structured though, because they took a break and they realized that they were pushing themselves too hard. And when they came back, they were talking about the attitudes of some of the viewers that were unhelpful. And they talked about the joy and the fun and the commitment and the involvement that they experienced firsthand when they went to all these car shows. Because people don't walk up to you at an event to say, I never liked your show. I've had people walk up to me in grocery stores to say that. I don't like you. Well, then why are you watching? But then it kind of is a little cloud over my head for the rest of the day. They didn't need to do that. So one day Chad had a little conversation to the camera. And he said, I've had a lot of people say that I never finish anything and I don't really have much to go by and negative stuff. So he walked us into this enormous storage area where he had all of these amazing one-off original cars that he had created while he was doing the Discovery Show. And he explained that they all work, they all do this, they all do that. When he was doing Discovery, he was also doing car shows where people brought their crazy cars. So it was a big turnout, and he would raffle off. He would be making a car, and he would raffle the car off to the winning ticket buyer. He said, I do the work. I don't expect you to praise me. I don't expect you to criticize me because, frankly, you don't know what you're talking about. And you could tell that he was hurt. That was quite some time ago, the last time he had to go through that. And I really felt for the two of them because they're really great. They work really hard and they're really talented. Yesterday, he was smiling. He said, I learned something and it made me smile. In fact, it made me laugh. And I'm going to share it with you. Now, this is part of what I'm talking about with make a connection. Find out how people feel. Ask them what's going on in their lives. This is all part of that. So here it goes. Chad said, my nickname Bad Chad, that didn't just fall out of the sky for no reason. I have a temper. And for a long time, I didn't really try and rein it in. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the adrenaline rush, getting good and mad and showing how I felt. He said, but he learned a really valuable thing from Mike Tyson, of all people. Mike Tyson, the fighter. And this is what he learned. He said, Chad said, Mike Tyson said, if someone makes you mad and you live in that anger, you're not in charge. everything you're yelling at them, all the ways you're heated up, breathing hard, that's not you in control. It's the person you're mad at that owns you. The thing that triggers you is in charge. And Chad said, when I realized that, when I paid attention to that, I said to myself, so all those people who were complaining and criticizing, and then he stepped right close to the camera and he said, I own you, tee hee. And you could see the relief, the joy, the massive aha that he'd had when that idea, that reality hit him full force. He suddenly realized that what he was doing was changing the way people feel. He was in charge. If they felt anger, that was their trigger, not him. If they really enjoyed it, that was their interest, not him. He owns it. If people come back, anybody can show up once by accident. They can show up to get in out of the rain. If they keep coming back, it's because a connection has been made. And whether it's happy, whether it's heard, validated, whether it's anger, it's touching something in other people. How they feel is why they come back again and again and again. So why this gives you so much power is because they want to feel that feeling again. And you're the source of that feeling. You are where they go to refill the bucket, right? You're the source. You're the supplier. They don't care how you do it. They care how they feel. They care how you are. We develop other conversations that aren't based on a video or a car modification or a recipe or how to tie a scarf or do your hair or change your makeup. It's beyond that. It's bigger than that. It's who we are as human beings together. We're creating a tribe, you and I. And you won't care. You got to know me because of something you saw or something you heard. And now you've chosen to become my friend, to become involved in these amazing videos, 90 videos. You've chosen to become involved because of the way it makes you feel. It's something you look forward to. It's something that makes you feel good about yourself or your life. It makes you laugh. It makes you sigh. It makes you say, oh my God, that's why. That's why. You could have told me that sooner, Abby. So for the video today, the image I chose was a whole bunch of different characters and things that I've done that are very different. Different characters in different shows, different projects I've done, books, appearances I've made. Very different. Not the same character. If you loved Mom, that's not why you're watching or wanting to know about a book or me dressed up as Merry Christmas. You're wanting to find out what else I do that's going to give you that same feel good. And you want to come back because you're curious about the number of ways I can do it. So the picture today is a reminder to me, but most importantly to you, that you can perform a 180-degree mind shift and love the experience and lean in to the curiosity and the now what do I do with enthusiasm, knowing that everyone who loves you is right there with you. Learning more about the mystery that is Abby Hagyard. Why, thank you, Freddie. I too am looking in the mirror every so often saying, my dad used to look at me when I would do odd, random things that made no sense to him. He would look at me and say, heredity or environment? And walk away. He used to say it all the time. And when I was very young, I had no idea what it meant. Later on, I looked it up and I thought, wait a minute. We are so talented, all of us. We have so many different qualities in our characters. We can do so much. And we have the ability to change easily and quickly when we are invited or challenged to do it. The Vikings were Scandinavians who lived in a rocky climate that had enough land to be able to farm-ish, raise animals, sort of. Most of their livelihood came from the ocean. They were really good at fishing. And they also were really good at sailing distances because of the way they built their boats and their navigation skills and tools. And they were also strong and brave and fearless. And they were exceptional fighters. So all the many things they do, whatever it is they were known for by one community, none of the other stuff was obvious unless you paid attention. The longer I have investigated my ancestors, and the funny thing is that journey of discovery began when somebody hired me to polish a screenplay about Vikings. And I said, I don't know anything about Vikings. I have to look into it first because I can't write about what I don't know. And it was as I was doing my research that I suddenly realized, oh, look, apparently I was a Viking in a former life. And if you didn't know that they were fine craftsmen, if you didn't know that they were extraordinary storytellers, if you didn't know that they were precision tool makers and boat builders and designers and navigators, if all you thought they were was bloodthirsty attackers, rape, pillage, burn, you were missing out on a lot of really, really curious and interesting history and stories, and diminishing probably a big influence in your family's history. And that's the thing, you know, when I'm talking about fame, available on Amazon, not that I'm pitching, and I say that fame is the thing people see, the biggest thing they see, and that's who they know you for. So if you knew me because you saw me in concert, sorry, it's the thought of me singing. If you knew me because you saw me in concert, you would be surprised if you knew that I could dance. You would be surprised if you knew that I could drive a transport truck. You would be surprised if you knew that I was able to read palms. You would be surprised if you knew that I could imitate people, that I had been a fashion model. You would be surprised by all those things if the only thing you knew was that I could sing or play an instrument. If I let you know all these things by showing you all the time, all these different snippets of my life, the days when I was younger, when I was modeling, when I was working at Playboy magazine in advertising and marketing, which is where I got the whole understanding about how marketing works. If you didn't, I was a military kid. You wouldn't have really a good understanding of why I have this kind of gypsy attitude about life and about the power of being flexible. The more you know, the more you're interested to know if I make you curious, if I make you feel good about yourself, if I help you laugh at things, if I get you thinking about things that you hadn't thought of before. I give you permission to give me permission to be many things. I invite you to care about me because I show you that I care about you. That's the definition of friendship. That's the definition of relationships. That's the definition of connection. It's the basis on which our tribes were built. We have a common goal. We care about each other. In the early tribes, we cared because together we were stronger. We had a better chance to survive. In the early tribes, we didn't have a whole lot of time to find out why you like the color blue, why you get rashes all over your face when you eat eggs. We didn't really have time to get to know you for your individual differences, right? And because we were all way back then focused on basic survival, we got to hunt, we got to gather, and we got to get past the saber-toothed whatnots out there who think it's lunchtime. That's a lot on the plate. Not a whole lot of time for, why do you like daisies? Really don't have time. However, when we do have time, those connections give us something extraordinarily valuable. Here's what it gives us. It gives us validation and support and encouragement and help when we're ready to shift, when we're ready for change. If I support you because you're you, even though the change wasn't my idea, if you clearly love it, I'm behind you. I don't have to love what you love. I only have to care that you love it. I have to understand that it's a priority for you and honor that. That is bigger than any fame. That allows us to be all the things we want to be. Freddie, for instance, has plans. He wanted an education, so he got it. He wanted a degree, so he got it. He wanted another one, so he got it. He has wanted to teach, and he's looking into it. He's wanted to tutor, and he's looking into it. He loves the idea of being a librarian. He's looking into it. And the people who know him and love him for who Freddie is and how Freddie makes them feel are 100% in his corner. They're not saying, why would you want to do that? They're not doing that. They might laugh and say, you're getting on a train and going where this time? Incredible. Go get him, Freddie. Because they care, because Freddie cares. That's the glue. That's the magic. That is the engine that gives us the attitude, the leaning in attitude to go for it. When we have no support, when we have no one in our corner, it's lonely. If we care and we're committed, we'll do it anyway. But it's so much more fun to do it knowing that other people are saying, go Abby, go get them. It's so much more fun. It's so much more lasting. It really means something. That's why Pivot Free in Motion is such a cool project. It's including all of you. It's creating a conversation around this incredible thing that our brain is capable of doing. It's saying and doing all the things that prove we believe in evolution. We believe in happiness. We believe in success. We believe in getting rid of stress. We're all in it together. Just wanted to wish you a happy Canadian Thanksgiving next Monday. Well, thank you, Freddie. That's very, very sweet of you. Thank you very much. I'll return the favor when it's yours. So where I am with the Pivotry conversation is this. A 180-degree mindset doesn't mean I like chocolate, now I like vanilla. No, the mindset isn't a complete shift in beliefs. A 180 mindset is that up until that moment, I was doing this. At this moment, I have drawn a line. I haven't drawn it this way, I've drawn it this way. The line, the drawing of the line is the 180 shift. Because this is my starting point. I'm putting on my running stilettos. I'm getting into my starter's block. I'm ready for the next chapter. And when the starter's pistol goes, I'm off and running. I'm leaning in, forward. Why? Because I drew that line. That's my 180 shift. I was happy doing what I was doing, and then I wasn't. And so I said, what if? What if is the shift? What if is the boundary? The boundary delineates what was and what is and will be. The boundary is the beginning, is the 180 shift. What if? If I can influence you in any way, if I can infect you in any way with anything, it's that. It's this. We can start again. Always. No matter what. Makes me tear up? You bet. You know why? I'm a military kid. I started every 15 minutes. And then after that, my own life stepped in and said, okay, keep those stilettos handy because we're going to be shifting again and again and again. Because that's who I've become. And I want that for you too. There are no limits. I'm not going to become an opera singer. I could play an opera singer on television and do it extraordinarily badly. I could do it on stage extremely badly and have people pay me for the joy of laughing at me doing it really badly. But I wouldn't actually ever be a genuine opera singer. That means that there aren't limits. It means that there are realistic expectations. But I can be whatever I want. All I have to do is want it. All I have to do is lean in and say, what if? Okay, let's do this. I got a boat. I got a bunch of oars. Are you with me? Okay, let's do this. That's the 180. That's the leaning in attitude. And it's easier and lovelier when we're in it together. Many hands make light the work. So today, we're leaning in to the weekend. In Canada, it's Thanksgiving, and there are lots of things to give thanks for every day, all the time. We choose this time because in Canada, our harvest is earlier because it's colder up here in the winter. And down in the US and in different parts of the world, we give thanks at different times of the year for different reasons. The good habit is to give thanks every day. The good habit is to listen to people, to show them, thought, word, and deed, that they matter and that we care. Because what you give comes back. And so we end up owning each other for all the great reasons. We end up being a tribe, having the best time for all the great reasons. Right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. So whether you're officially giving thanks and eating way too much turkey, or it's just a regular weekend coming up, or you have projects, or you have something happening, or you have challenges that you're leaning into and dealing with, you're not by yourself. When it's hard, take the deep breaths. Slow in, slow out. Remember, you're not alone. You got us. We're your tribe. And while you do that, as you do that, I want to do one small pitch for me. On Tuesday, I had 118 subscribers to this channel. This morning, I have 127. 127 in 2 days. I'm so touched. I'm so honored that you're choosing to do this, because it means that our tribe is getting bigger, and it means that there's more of us to care about each other, more of us listening to each other, more of us saying, or atta boy, atta girl, go get him. And that feels amazing. So I always do this. I ask you to like, subscribe. If there's a bell somewhere, ring it. Tell your friends. Let's see if we can get this to 150. Okay? Let's see if we can get to 150. We're at 127. Let's see how long it takes us. All right? And in the meantime, after that message, 2 things. I'm doing my best to be good to me. I'm doing my best to be good to you. You are certainly doing your best to be good to me. You need to be good to you. You deserve it. Never forget that. Also, don't forget to hug your loved ones. They're awesome. Okay? So I'll see you on Tuesday next week at 10 o'clock right here. And who knows how many subscribers we'll have by then. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Bye-bye for now. Be safe.